Ambassador Zethkar of the hegemony stood before the primitive communication device the humans called a podium, his 4 arms spread wide in what his species considered a gesture of absolute authority. The crystalline chamber aboard his flagship gleamed with the cold light of 1,000 conquered worlds, each victory etched into the walls as a testament to hegemony supremacy. Humans of Earth, his voice resonated through the translation matrix, reaching every corner of the Sol system. Your defiance has been noted and found amusing. For 72 rotations, you have resisted our generous offer of incorporation into the hegemony. This ends now. The massive holographic display behind him flickered to life, showing Earth in all its blue-green splendor, surrounded by the dark silhouettes of 300 hegemony dreadnoughts. Each vessel was the size of a small moon, bristling with quantum disruptors capable of cracking planets like eggs. We have conquered over 4,000 species across this galaxy, Zethkar continued, his mandibles clicking with what passed for satisfaction among his kind. Not one has survived a direct confrontation with our fleet. Your primitive kinetic weapons and fusion reactors are as threatening to us as, what do you call them? Sticks and stones. On Earth, in the underground command center buried beneath the Swiss Alps, General Martinez watched the alien speech with the kind of calm that only came from making peace with impossible odds. Around him, officers from every nation sat in silence, their faces reflecting the weight of what they all knew was coming. "Sir," whispered Lieutenant Chen, "the alien fleet has begun charging their primary weapons. Estimated time to planetary bombardment, 37 minutes. Martinez nodded slowly. "Open a channel to the hegemony flagship." The view screen crackled to life, revealing the ambassador's reptilian features twisted into what humans had learned was the hegemony equivalent of a smug smile. "Ah, the human military leader," Zethkar hissed. "Have you finally come to discuss terms of surrender? I assure you our slave colonies are quite comfortable. Your species will serve the hegemony well in the mining operations of Kepler 442b. Martinez stood slowly, his weathered hands clasped behind his back. When he spoke, his voice carried the weight of every human who had ever stood against impossible odds. "Ambassador Zethkar, we've considered your generous offer very carefully." "Excellent. I knew your species possessed at least rudimentary intelligence. We have prepared our response." The general gestured to Lieutenant Chen, who activated a new transmission. The display shifted to show a simple granite headstone standing alone in Arlington National Cemetery. Rain fell gently across its surface, and the inscription was clearly visible. "Here lies the hegemony fleet they demanded. Surrender humans said, no date of death. Today." For a moment, Zethkar stared at the image in confusion. Then his mandibles began clicking rapidly, the hegemony equivalent of nervous laughter. "A monument. This is your response? Some primitive stone carving?" Martinez smiled. Not the diplomatic smile he'd worn in countless peace negotiations, but the cold, predatory grin his grandfather had worn at Normandy. "We've been waiting for you, Ambassador. You see, we've had time to study your technology from the debris of your scout ships. Very impressive quantum disruptors. Unfortunately, for you, we've also had time to modify our own little project." "What project?" Zethkar's voice had lost its confidence. "Tell me, Ambassador, have you heard of something called the Philadelphia experiment?" The alien's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of confusion in his species. 70 years ago, we accidentally discovered how to bend space-time. We shelved the project because it was too dangerous, but desperate times. Martinez shrugged. Lieutenant Chen's fingers flew over her console. Project Lazarus is online, sir. All quantum tunnel generators are at full power. What are you doing? Zethkar demanded, but there was something new in his voice now. Fear. We're giving you exactly what you asked for, Martinez replied. Surrender. The space around the hegemony. Fleet began to shimmer like heat waves rising from summer asphalt. The massive dreadnoughts, engines that had crossed galactic distances, weapons that had shattered moons, all of it began to waver like a mirage. Impossible, Zethkar screamed. You cannot possess technology beyond our understanding. We are the hegemony. We are... You are in a quantum tunnel, Martinez interrupted calmly. Congratulations, Ambassador. You're about to become the first biological matter ever transmitted faster than light. Unfortunately, our calculations show a 99.9% chance that you'll arrive at your destination as individual atoms. The alien fleet was fading now, becoming translucent. Through the view screen, Zethkar's image flickered. Like a dying television signal. Wait, we can negotiate. The hegemony offers tribute. Gold, platinum, antimatter. Martinez walked closer to the screen, his voice dropping to a whisper that somehow carried more menace than any shout. You came to our home. You threatened our children. You demanded we kneel. He paused, letting the weight of his words settle. Humans don't kneel, Ambassador. We bury. The transmission cut to static. In space above Earth, the quantum tunnels collapsed, taking the hegemony fleet to a destination somewhere in the void between galaxies. The stars shone peaceful and clear once more. Lieutenant Chen broke the silence. Sir, we're receiving transmissions from hegemony colonies across the galaxy. They're requesting permission to surrender to Earth. Martinez turned back. To his officers, most of whom were staring at him in shock, he straightened his uniform and cleared his throat. Well then, he said, I suppose we'll need to order more tombstones. Outside, rain continued to fall on Arlington Cemetery, washing. Clean the granite marker that had somehow predicted the future. The inscription remained as clear as the day it was carved, a promise carved in stone. Humans said no. And across the galaxy, species that had cowered before the hegemony for millennia began to whisper a new name with equal parts fear and wonder. They spoke of the humans who had turned surrender into a weapon, who had made physics itself into a tombstone for their enemies. They spoke of Earth, where even the dead could still say no.